This podcast is brought to you by Odiogo.com.
China warns Russia of coming American great event. A shocking new Federal Security Services (FSB) report on Prime Minister Putin's meeting this past week with one of China's top military leaders is warning that the United States and its Western allies are in active preparation for the unleashing of a series of catastrophic events over the coming year designed to throw the world into chaos from which they hope global economic and social order can be restored. According to this FSB report, China's Ministry of State Security (MSS) were given the outlines of this massive plot by a former Blackwater mercenary named Brian Underwood, who was a contract security guard at a U.S. consulate in China, who believed his actions in getting this information to China and Russia would help avert an apocalypse. Underwood has subsequently been arrested by the United States Federal Bureau of Investigation (FBI), who stated in their arrest report of him that, according to the superseding indictment, from about March 1, 2011, to about August 5, 2011, Underwood knowingly and unlawfully attempted to communicate photographs and other information relating to the national defense to representatives of the People's Republic of China (PRC), with the intent and reason to believe that these materials would be used to the injury of the United States and to the advantage of a foreign nation. Chinese intelligence sources quoted in this report appear to verify Underwood's fears by noting that the over 1,000 top-secret U.S. documents and photographs obtained by them show an American government under siege from multiple threats they fear will spread, causing the unleashing of unprecedented chaos from which normal order will never be able to be re-established again. These U.S. fears of unprecedented chaos appear to be well-founded, as the massive protests spreading around the world due to the global economic meltdown have now hit America, with over 700 reported arrested yesterday in New York City and further unrest now spreading across the United States. Even worse, this report shows the U.S. government is also terrified over new reports detailing the unprecedented loss of our Earth's protective ozone layer over the Arctic that shows no signs of abating and is further expected to cause even worse weather cataclysms in a world barely able to sustain its equilibrium from the historic natural disasters it has experienced already this year that are now the costliest in history. As open revolution has now reached the American shores due to the unstoppable global financial apocalypse that will wipe out the savings of millions, and as our world's ecosystems are undergoing massive shifts too, this report details an insidious U.S. government plot to manage and control these many disasters it and its allies face by their embracing mass genocide as a means to sustain their survival. In fact, one of the most chilling documents given to China's MSS by Underwood details how the Central Intelligence Agency's CIA Haqqani terror network in Pakistan has launched an unprecedented bioattack using the dengue fever virus the Americans planned to modify and then reintroduce into their own population. In the spring and summer of 1981, Cuba experienced a severe hemorrhagic dengue fever epidemic. Between May and October 1981, the island nation had 158 dengue-related deaths with about 75,000 reported infection cases. At the height of the epidemic, over 10,000 people per day were found infected and 116,150 were hospitalized. At the same time, during 1981 outbreak, covert biological warfare attacks on Cuba's residents and crops were believed to have been conducted against the island by CIA contractors and military airplane flyovers. Particularly harmful to the nation was a severe outbreak of swine flu that Fidel Castro attributed to the CIA. American researcher William H. Schopp, an editor of Covert Action magazine, claims the Cuba dengue outbreak was the result of CIA activities. In 1982, the then Soviet media reported that the CIA sent operatives into Afghanistan from Pakistan to launch a dengue epidemic. The Soviets at the time claimed the operatives were posing as malaria workers, but, instead, were releasing dengue-infected mosquitoes. The CIA denied the charges. In 1985 and 1986, authorities in Nicaragua accused the CIA of creating a massive outbreak of dengue fever that infected thousands in that country. To anyone doubting the ruthlessness of the United States, one need only look at the events of this past week that saw for the first time in history their president ordering the assassination of 2 American citizens without either evidence or trial. Only the secret evidence the U.S. government said it had, but would not reveal, was used to justify these state-sponsored killings. It is worth noting at this point that the once great United States has descended so far into the abyss of tyranny that it has all but abolished trials for those citizens convicted of crimes and who, according to the New York Bar Association, has established a gulag system that, aside from its holding more prisoners than any other nation in the world, is actively torturing over 80,000 of them in blatant violation of all international and humanitarian laws. It is critically important to note the true and evil condition of the United States, and those elites who control it, as without this knowledge one would be unable to fully grasp the greater horrors to come. In part thanks to your efforts we were able to gain access to the FSB document from which many of the facts in this report are derived from. We are still in the process of evaluating this information and will post more updates as soon as they are available.